Good to see you again, Mark. Second leg awaits now for your team. What do you want to see from your players going into that one?
I think it's positivity, really. I think that's the main thing. We're in a winning position. Clearly, if we play as well as we did, certainly in the first half, I thought we were excellent in the opening period and really took the game to Carlisle. Carlisle, I think, Paul has admitted that they were very nervous in the opening period. I think that was a consequence of the stage and the atmosphere and everything. It will be replicated, obviously not to the same extent, but they're going to have a big crowd again and they're going to have to deal with that. So that's what we're used to, week in, week out, basically, so it won't faze us. So, we just got to start positive and see if we can maybe... There's only so much confidence on a football field, and if you start positively, then you draw that confidence away from your opponents. So let's see if we can do that.
Yeah, we spoke after the game about how well you started the encounter on the front foot. Is that what you want to see more from your players?
Yeah, there was maybe the perception in the second half that we took a foot off and allowed them back in the game. That's not what happens. It's not a message from me saying, right, we're going to drop off now. It's a consequence of the opposition causing you a different type of problem. And I said after the game, difficult to obviously deal with longer balls. You can't stop the ball coming into your box when it's been kicked long by a goalkeeper who can kick it a long way with great height and accuracy. So those are difficult balls. There's not a lot you can do about that. But there was other areas where they were getting joy that we can look at. And if you do that, then that pressure doesn't mount. So I think it's a case of making sure we play our own game. In fairness, up to the point where, the opposition will have moments when they'll be in the ascendancy, but we'll have those moments as well. So we've just got to make best advantage of that when they come our way.
What do you feel is the best approach for the game, given that you've got the 1-0 lead? Is it to consolidate, control and try and protect, or naturally
I'd much rather be in our position than Carlisle, if I'm perfectly honest, and going there with obviously the win under our belt, not only the scoreline, it's confidence that just winning a football match brings. I mean, now form is better. I think if you look back the last 10 games maybe, certainly we've had more wins in those 10, in that 10-game period than Carlisle have, and we're on the back of a win. So in terms of confidence leading into the game, we're in a better place. So there's absolutely no pressure on us, in my view, because we're on the front foot and we're looking forward to the game. So we're in a good frame of mind in terms of leading into the game because we're off the back of a win. So we're looking forward to it.
Do you think there's a psychological element to this game? And if so, how do you navigate through it?
There is a psychology to any game. I don't know if there's mind games going on. I'm not sure that we're putting it as strongly as that. There might be from Carlisle's, and there's certainly none from our point of view. We're just confident in our own ability. We're looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great football match, I think. Good atmosphere, one that we've enjoyed, and that was the pleasing part from me. I just felt the last two games we've had at Orient and the first leg, they were games that were real pressure games for us in terms of we still had to do something against Orient. We needed to get a point. We were able to do that. I'm quite comfortable doing that. We needed to beat Carlisle. We did that. There were not too many dramas. So we're dealing with any kind of pressure that we face really well at the moment. So that's, from my point of view, that's a good sign leading into the game of the weekend.
Paul Simpson said yesterday that it's your game to lose and their game to win. Adam Clayton said to us about half an hour ago that it's your game to lose and win. So how do you...
Well, you've lost me now, so I'll take a win, let's put it that way. So, I mean, you can look at it both ways, and Carlisle look at it, their situation, and we look differently, obviously, through a different lens, given our situation. So let's wait and see. it's a game of significance. It's a game that we're pleased to be involved in. We want to obviously progress if we can. So they stand in our way. We've just got to overcome them.
I just want to focus on the mentality side of things because, again, Adam saying to us, similar to what you've just said there, actually, how much you've grown, and particularly citing the Leyton Orient game as one where big occasion, big expectation, and you delivered, and the same can be said for Sunday as well. How fair set are you from a mentality perspective going into this one?
I think we're in a good place, as good a place as we've probably been all year, really. Like I said, it was a test. It was a test of a lot of emotions. It was about being able to perform under pressure, and I mentioned that ability to think clearly under pressure, which we're going to need to do again. And I thought certainly the last two home games was with a decent amount of pressure on our own shoulders. We dealt with it really well. So that fills me with real confidence that we'll deal with whatever the situation of the weekend throws our way, and if we do that, then we've got a real chance.
What do you expect from them? What do you think they're going to put towards you on Saturday?
We'll have to wait and see. They don't change their approach in too many ways. I mean, they've got good ability in the teams, and we always recognise that and respect that. They've probably gone more direct in recent months than maybe initially when Paul first went in there. But it'll be more of the same, I would suggest. I don't think you're leading into a one-off game, which it could be for one of us. You don't change things radically. I think it's a high-risk game to do that if you think you want to be too clever. But so it'll be more of the same, more of the things that we needed to deal with well last time out. We will try and do the same this time.
It was a game for Andy Cook, limited chances maybe, given the way that the game unfolded. Is that something that you're mindful of, to try and find more opportunities for him?
We just feel if we play well, we'll create chances, and more often than not, Andy's on the end of those chances that we create. He has the ability to create chances himself, even if it seems on reflection that he hasn't had much of an impact. When you look back at his stats, more often than not he's had 2 or 3 shots either created himself or created for him. So you always sense that he will have opportunities to hit the target because that happens every game he plays. So I don't anticipate that's going to change anytime soon.
There was a point that came up in our post-match discussion about the amount of fouls that aren't given against Andy. What are your thoughts on that? He seems to feel a lot of the defender from behind, but there's not much in the way of decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the outlook of the referee and what he interprets as being a foul. We just hope Carlisle don't get a homer ref, because that would be devastating for us. But we talk about it a lot because we do feel that Andy doesn't get the amount of free kicks that he should do. But at the beginning of the year, the referees have been talking about a different threshold and wanting the game to flow. I think sometimes that becomes easier for them because they don't have to make a decision. So the game flows, but actually you're missing out on genuine fouls. So that's a little bit of frustration certainly we have with Andy's situation when he plays, and the physicality that he has to really put up with before he gets any kind of foul. So it is something we discuss. There's not a lot we can do about it. It's about interpretation and the threshold, like I said. But sometimes it's a little bit frustrating for him and for everybody. We've
seen the owner, Stefan Rupp, at the last 2 games. Have you had much chance to chat with him, and how is he feeling about the situation?
No. I saw him a few weeks ago, and he was in good form, and we don't see him too often when he comes over, but he's been obviously over a couple of times in recent weeks. He's obviously delighted with how the season's gone, and he's enjoying it, and he's part of it. So hopefully we can keep on playing and get to a Wembley final.
Yeah, ironically, today marks 10 years since Bradford City were victorious at Wembley, getting out of League 2 with Phil Parkinson. I mean, is that a source of inspiration for you as a team now, and is it something that you're aware of as a squad?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to look back at the success of the club in previous times, and that team and that year is revered by everybody connected with Bradford. So we've got an opportunity, obviously, to try and emulate promotion through the playoffs, which is what we'll endeavour to do. And it's all about making your mark in the game. I talk about this a lot. It's you can be a professional footballer and enjoy a decent career, but it's really there's moments in that career where you have the opportunity to make a real mark, where people actually will remember you and talk about your contribution during that period. So we've got an opportunity. All the guys can play a part in that and make a mark and maybe dine out on the result of that for a few years, because that's what happens, because people appreciate what you've tried to do for the club.
Yeah, I guess that's the product of success. Naturally, as footballers, you want to be successful within the game, the season that you've had, but actually that's the carrot that's dangled there as well. You write yourself into Bradford City folk.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of players that have played for Bradford and won the shirt, and in comparison to how many players have actually played, the ones that actually are revered and remembered, it's a small amount. So give yourself the opportunity to join that group if you can. Finally,
team news. How are you going into Saturday?
Yeah, okay. Pretty much everybody's available, apart from obviously the longer term injuries. Thierry Nevers was ill during the week, so he missed a couple of days early on. Trained again today, but he should be okay. But no one else, I don't think.
Best of luck, Mark.
Okay,
thank you.
Pleasure.
So Mark, they're obviously talking about 10 years ago and that history. I mean, some managers are quite keen to sort of move on from history, and they say it can sort of be a bit of a weight holding you back at times with the club. I mean, do you feel it's important that the players know that, you know, there's, as you say, this opportunity to become famous players around this club? And
yeah, I haven't got a problem with it at all. Yeah, I take your point. Some managers pull down all the pictures and say, no, it's about us and not about what's gone on in the past. We haven't done that. We've taken a few down because we put a few of our guys up, but we haven't done it wholesale. It's not something that we want not to be mentioned. I mean, it's part of the history of the club, and it's a positive period within the club's history. So why wouldn't you discuss it and imagine the emotions that were felt on that day and try and replicate them when you get the opportunity? So yeah, we will talk about that, and it's not something that we're ignorant of or dismiss out of hand, because it's important to recognise that.
Obviously, this club that, you know, with respect over the years, hasn't won as much as other clubs have, you know, so it becomes a bit more of a standpoint. The fact that you've got like the 2013 lounge at the club, and you know, it's the constant reminders are there, because it's been, you know, these fans are desperate to repeat those sort of successes, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And this point I just made is you've got an opportunity to add your own story to the story of the club, and like I said, if you're part of a successful team, a team that's accomplished something or achieved something, then supporters remember that. They remember the emotions that you, as part of the successful team, engendered in them. So why wouldn't you want to be a player that's remembered and maybe have a lounge named after you? I never got one, but there's a lot that have had that honour. So a number of our guys have got that opportunity, I'm sure, this year.
So you mentioned Andy Cook. I mean, the fact he's Golden Boot winner this year, I mean, Golden Boot and promotion would be the...
He's had a hell of a season, but we all want to finish it off as a collective, not just on Andy's individual honours, and he's of the same mindset. He's part of a good team, a team that's enabled him to win these individual honours, and he recognises that more than most. So he's had a great season. It's not over yet. He could hopefully even add to the level that he's hit this year.
But I think it was after the Northampton game. Obviously, he didn't win the Player of the Year award, and then he looked quite fired up at Northampton. Had a great game. I mean, the fact that he's never scored against Carlisle, is that something that perhaps might be gnawing away a little bit at him?
I'm not sure. He's not mentioned it. Usually, if he's a bit aggrieved, you're made aware of it. So I'm not sure he's mentioned that, but I'm sure he's quietly confident that if if he gets a good opportunity, then he's more than likely to take, just because of the vein of form that he's in. Clearly he's enjoying his football. It's when chances present themselves, he's not thinking about it in as much as that it's a natural finish. He's not overthinking or over analysing what he's going to do prior to taking the shot. It's just free flowing, his confidence, which is huge for only any striker really, but more so for Andy, because he is a confidence player who thrives off scoring goals, and that's what he's done all year.
Obviously, you know, we talk about the manager's comments. I mean, Paul Simpson's comments about, as I said, a Homer referee. He's clearly sort of trying to balance the scales for the second leg. Are you slightly sort of wary of the fact that, you know, officials might sort of think, oh, hang on, this guy's thinking we're a bit one-sided here. It could be that danger going the other way.
Well, I haven't heard it. I mean, I was surprised by the comments. Paul's an experienced manager, and I thought what he said did question the integrity of officials, and that's a no-no. So it's something you can always question their performance, because sometimes it's valid criticism, but questioning integrity is always the path I try and avoid. So I haven't heard anything. I don't know if he's been pulled up on it, but that was a bit of a surprise really that he came out with that. But it's an emotional game. Perhaps that overtook him, and maybe he's had a slap on the wrist. I don't know. If it had been me, I would have got fined. But there you go.
And obviously, set pieces are almost their forte, aren't they? That's one area.
Yeah, they're very good.
You've got to be very wary in terms of not giving away cheap free kicks.
Yeah. I mean, they scored a lot of their goals this season from set plays, corners. Delivery, obviously, of Moxon is a big plus for them, and if you can limit the amount of occasions where they've got good opportunities to put the ball in without any pressure on the ball being delivered in, obviously free kicks and corners allow you to do that. So we're mindful of that. That's how they have scored the majority of the goals, it seems, and they've got good timing and runs, good physical presence, so you have to match that. Ideally, you don't give them the opportunity to put balls into the box from corners. I think they had 3, which is always a good return. If you can keep it to lower or no numbers at all, then that's a big part of their game taken out of their arsenal, so to speak. So all right, Wes. So there you go. So we'll endeavour to do that again if we can keep their opportunities down to a minimum in terms of certainly corners. Then that would be a good thing for us. Free kicks, you can limit them. Obviously, in key areas where they can put real quality balls in from good distances. If we can limit the times that we do give up fouls in those areas, and that's going to help as well.
And I think also must be encouraging the fact that from open play they didn't create a lot, did they, last week?
No, I didn't think so. Like I said, the perception of the game was that we had the better of the first half. Maybe I've seen some saying that they dominated the second half. I'm not sure about that in terms of chance to create. I remember the good chance I had, which was a great quality ball in, and the headed opportunity there. That was a real chance, and wouldn't have been surprised if that had gone in, but it didn't. Apart from that, not too much I can recall really. Maybe a through ball that Harry stood up well to and hit the side netting, but for the most part not a great deal. I thought we had better chances in the first half. So we're evenly matched, let's put it that way. I said that before the game, and it was borne out again in the game that we played in the first leg. There's not much between the two teams, but probably the difference at the moment is that we won the first leg. That's the difference.
And you're saying about evenly matched. And on that vein, have you prepared for potential penalties?
Yeah, we did some penalties today. Yeah, you can't recreate the emotion of the event, but you can practice the technical side of it and the technique that you're likely to use if you go down to actually take a penalty. So yeah, we looked at that. We'll do a little bit more tomorrow as well. And yeah, you can never recreate the actual circumstance of a penalty shootout in terms of the energy and the adrenaline that's flowing through your body, but you can replicate the technique you're going to use.
Have you got your list sorted?
Probably got 3 or 4 of them. See how they do tomorrow, see if I can add 5 or 6 of them, see how we go.
Dealing with that home crowd, Mark, I mean, you're well conditioned to that, the Bradford you players and everything. That will be tend to be more of a factor for Carlisle. Probably a lot of the home games, probably 100, couple of hundred.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that's not the norm for them. It's the norm for us, home and away, because invariably playing Bradford is usually the biggest game that teams have, because we bring big numbers and teams want to see what we're like as well. So we're used to week in, week out. A big full house at Carlisle maybe is the exception to the norm. So they've got to deal with that as well. So it's not something that will faze us.
It's not one of those things where you go into the lines that you
No.
players have experienced that before.
Yeah, every game we play we have that, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, but about yourself when you're coming to Bradford, it's part of your career in football. Essentially, you really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You take it a hell of a lot out from it. It's been as enjoyable as anything, really. You know?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's all the reasons and the thinking behind coming here when I accepted the opportunity have all been borne out. It's all about obviously getting back, working with a good group of players, making them better, hopefully, winning games clearly, getting out on a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock and winning football matches. That was the thing I missed, and I've been able to obviously bring that back into my life again. So I'm really grateful for it, and it's been a really good journey.
And you know what it means to the punters. If you could see that in your game, you saw it.
Yeah, that's been present. I mean, they're desperate for success. We've had a better year this year than most. We'll keep on building. We'll try and make the step this year and see where it takes us. But yeah, overall, looking back at the season, I've really enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, obviously, people talk about your experience coming to Bradford, but obviously it's the first time you was involved in the playoffs as well. What have you learned from the process?
I just enjoyed the occasion and just the atmosphere around the game, and I talked about, obviously you reminded me a bit of European nights, and there's a certain atmosphere and noise to a big crowd when there's something really on a game, and I sense that. So experience that again was really good. I really enjoyed that part. So yeah, it's when you're involved at the level I'm involved at, and there's a lot of effort put into actually getting the team out on the pitch, and a lot of people involved. So when you get to a point where you've achieved obviously a great win in a playoff game, then it's something to be proud of, because there's huge effort and a huge amount of work has gone into it prior to that. But ideally we want to take the next step and the next step, and there's still work to be done. So yeah, it's been enjoyable. Playoffs, no different from really key games at the top end of Premier Leagues or semi-finals I've been involved in. I've managed at Wembley in an FA Cup semi-final, so there is pressure on those moments, but yeah, but that's why we do it. So that's why you strive to be successful, so you can experience that. Not everybody gets the opportunity.
Talk about Carlisle, playing a little bit more games with the psychology side of things, and the games this season have been low-scoring affairs. Obviously, it's better for City to take the upper hand going into that game. So do you think Carlisle are sort of playing on those psychology just to...
Well, they might be, but do I look fazed by that? I wouldn't have thought I do, but it's part and parcel of the game. Maybe they'll try and psych us out, but I just sense we're in a good place in terms of where we're at and what we're about, and we just want to get the job done if we can. That's the challenge for us, and that challenge is there for everybody connected to Bradford. I think we're ready for it. The game itself will be a challenge. There'll be things around the game, the psychology of the game, call it what you like. that's always present anyway. But I think we'll deal with it well enough. It's not something I think will be a negative for us. I think we'll deal with it.